Today, we're going to talk about the undo and redo button. I'm going to show the basic functionality of it, but also some hidden settings that, if you tweak them correctly, are going to make your live loop sessions better and easier for yourself. So come with me, let's check this thing out, shall we? So hi friends, my name's Arthur and this is yet another RC-505 Mark II tutorial. So welcome. So the RC-505 Mark II's got many buttons, right? Sometimes it can be really overwhelming to see all these buttons, all these LEDs turning on and off, and I understand. I've been there before. But there's this one particular button that, even though it's really small, it's got so many features that once I discovered all of them, it really changed the game for me. So let's get straight to it. So I got my RC-505 Mark II set here on the table. So when we're talking about the undo and redo button, we have to understand that the RC-505, it's got two different states, the play state and the undo state. Right now, like this, as we are seeing, it's on the play state. So nothing's happening. You can record your loops here. You can play, stop, and do all the things you already know. But once you press the undo and redo button, it turns red, right? That's when you are on the undo and redo state. So I got my guitar here on my lap. I'm gonna record something on top of the rhythm part. Okay, so now I have my basic loop playing, right? So now let's try to record a overdub on top of my guitar track, right? So right now, if I press the undo and redo button, I'm back on the undo state, right? My record and play buttons are flashing green. That indicates that I can undo something, right? So let's see if it works. So as you guys could see, whenever the play and record buttons are flashing green, you're either going backwards or forwards, right? There is no other option here. So that's the basic functionality. Now let's talk about the stop button that is turned red always. So the stop button, guys, it's going to take you back to the first loop, right? Always. So let's say we have a second overdub on our second track, the guitar track. So there you go, guys. The only problem with this button is that you completely delete your second loop. There is no way to go back to it. The second loop is gone. Now, what we can do, let's say, to save the second loop in these cases, is use the track button. So if I press the track button, you guys can see it turns blue, and the stop button also turns blue. What it means, guys, is that I marked this loop, and I can go back to it whatever I want just by pressing the now blue stop button, okay? But now, if I want to go back to the first loop, how do I do that? It's pretty easy, actually. You just have to press the effects button on top, which is going to delete this mark, okay? So let's see what happens. So that's it. When I press the effects button, it deleted my mark on the second loop, right? And it actually took me right back to the first loop. I don't know if this is a bug, if that's how it was supposed to work. I think it's kind of weird, so we never know for sure if it's a bug or a feature, right? But that's how it's working right now on this version, right? Now I gotta tell you, there's also one more thing that I don't know if it's a bug or not. If I press the red button 2 times, there's no more A and B part. All the overdubs are gone. I only have the first loop. So let me show you. So there you go, the overdubs are gone, right? I can't go back anymore to them. So bear that in mind. It is how it is for now, until Boss decides to do something about it or not, who knows. So that's how it works on the default settings. But we do have some settings that we can tweak and change to make it a little bit more customizable. Let's take a look. So if you press the menu button and go to CTL, here, as you guys can see, we have the 2 states that I was talking about. So we have the play state, which is called panel play, and panel undo. If I press panel undo, now I'm talking about the undo state, right? Whenever I press the undo button here. And these are the track buttons of each track. I'm talking about track button on track 1, track button on track 2, track 3 on track 3, and so on. And what we can do, guys, is change what these buttons do when we are on the undo state. The default setting is going to mark my overdub, mark set, that's how they call. So whenever I press here, the overdub was marked and it would turn blue, remember, like this. We can choose whatever we want. We can do the undo and redo, just like these buttons here, but instead of here being here, we can do reverse. So that's the track is going to be a reverse button. We can clear. So if I press here, you see it's turned white. I can clear this track or nothing, and you can just turn off this button, right? And there are many other options that I do recommend you guys taking a look, because they are really interesting. Really, there's a lot of functionalities here. And if we go to the next page, we also have the same thing, but for the effects button. We're talking about the effects buttons on top. So track 1, effects. It's configured to be a LED. I can turn it on and I can turn it off. This is a pretty useful tip that actually one of our subscribers, Master Music, gave to us, right? He told us that we can use the LED button as a way for you to remember which track do you turn certain effects or which track do you turn certain assignments, right? That's Master Music tip. Thank you very much, by the way, dude. I do recommend you guys to also check the play state here. That's gonna be the same thing, so the track and the effects buttons, but for the play state, so with the undo and redo buttons turned off. So we can change the functionality of these 2 buttons here to be whatever we want. It's just a matter of choosing and seeing what is better for you and what's best for your specific loop session. So that's the undo and redo button, guys. Hopefully you now have a better understanding of how it works. I know it's a little bit confusing sometimes, even for me. Who knows, maybe Boss rolls out an update that makes it easier for understand and maybe more customizable. But yeah, now you understand how it works and you can better implement it on your live loop sessions, right? If you like this video, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. It's definitely gonna help me a lot. And if you have any other questions, any other comments, please feel free to comment down below and I shall reply to you and we can have a little conversation, who knows. So that's it, guys. Thank you very much for being here, for being this awesome person, and we see each other around. See ya.